Hey guys, this is Chris in the DJI Mini 3 Pro out in Ohio, visiting my daughter, my son-in-law, and our brand new grandbaby. I am a first-time grandpap now, and loving it, and have been out here now. I'll be out here a total of about 2 weeks when all is said and done. So I did get out and do a range flight, and it was some windy conditions, fairly windy. It's a little bit windy now. But it was so windy, my audio was terrible. I didn't have the cover on my mic, so now I've got my mic covered, and hopefully this audio is better, and we'll do our intro now. So I've already done the flight, I know the results, and I will tell you I am having some signal issues with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Is it what everybody else is complaining or saying they have? No. I am able to get some range. And I'm not going to do my comparison with the Mini 2 yet, but I will say it's not that of the Mini 2. The Mini 3 Pro is forcing me to be dead set on my direction, pointing it straight at the quad. If I take it in turn like I do with my Mini 2, turn off to the side a little bit, I'll lose signal. With the Mini 2, I don't lose that signal. You have much more wider spectrum with the Mini 2 versus this. Now, do I think it's controller related? I don't think so. I think it's signal strength, and here's my theory behind all this. I've got two theories here. First, in my situation, I think that DJI has packed so much inside of a quad like this that they're first delivering it to us with a very safe lower signal strength. They can adjust the signal strength in firmware anytime they want. So starting off safe might be better for them to see how this thing performs and make sure it handles it with so much tech packed into a sub 250 quad. So that's something that I'm thinking they've done on both CE and FCC and can later adjust in firmware. My other theory is your regions for CE and FCC, that whole system could be all bugged up right now. People in Canada, I think, are supposed to have FCC. There's a lot of people in Canada that are having this short range issue to where it's a drastic short range issue. And they may very well be getting the CE version. So that's all determined based off of when you connect to Wi-Fi and you download your firmware, it detects your region, your area, and it gives you the appropriate firmware. So it's not the quad label or anything like that that determines you have a CE version or an FCC version. It's when you're connected to Wi-Fi and you're actually downloading that firmware, that initial setup and registration, I believe, is what tags it and gives you the appropriate firmware. That's how I think it works anyhow. So people in areas that should have a longer range, that have much higher expectations, that aren't getting anywhere remotely close to that, I think that very well could be something that we could consider. So in both situations, my thoughts are, yeah, a quad should work exactly as advertised when you purchase it. That is one of the biggest things that pisses me off. If you watch me do my reviews of a brand new product, that's one of the biggest things that pisses me off, is that these things come so incomplete. And this one's actually came very complete. So if that is our biggest issue right now, that is something that, I mean, we have to give them a little bit of time, reasonable time, not anything 6 months from now, to make these adjustments and make these corrections. So if you see after a firmware update or 2 firmware updates that things get better, then I would say my theory is right. It's not the quad, it's not the controller, it's the firmware. It's something going on there out of the 2 situations that I explained. So my advice to anybody that's got this and you're really pissed off or you're upset about your short range and you want to go and exchange it, wait, give it a little bit of time. If you're concerned about not getting your money back if you wait, then go ahead and return it and wait it out and see how things go. But I'm going to go ahead and say, and this is something you can mark me on and come back and say something to me later, I'm going to say that we're going to see this problem go away in a short period of time after some firmware updates, maybe a couple firmware updates, we won't have this issue anymore. As long as the hardware can handle that signal strength without overheating or having any problems like that. So that's my theory on it, and that's my solution. Wait it out and see what firmware updates do. I'm not panicking on this because my range isn't 500 meters. I'm getting beyond that. So you'll see that in this firmware, in this range flight, how far I get. Again, I was having a hard time with my signal. You're going to see a screenshot the whole flight, and you're going to see exactly how I was struggling to keep that signal. I lost that signal into a very low range, into the orange and the red, constantly throughout the flight. And at one point I had to stand on top of the pickup truck to try to shoot above the trees to keep that. I was trying to keep it down low. I ended up having to go to that maximum ceiling in order to get as far as I got with it. I think I can go farther, and I'm going to try to go farther. So maybe I'll do the Mini 2 and the Mini 3 comparisons, put them at the exact same height, fly them out, and see how the distance is between the two of them. I also may do the N1 controller with this as well, and see if we can rule that out, which I think we can. I don't think it's any difference with the controllers based on antenna type or placement. Both antennas are shielded inside plastic. It doesn't matter that one's extended out and one's on inside the quad itself. They're both in the same type of setup. We don't have actual antennas. So I really don't think it's that. And I've got enough friends who have already tried that, a couple of them anyhow. Yeah, I got two friends. And I don't feel like that's the theory to go on. So with all that being said, I think that's enough. And we should just get it on out there. And I'll just end in saying this is a range flight test. I don't do these because I think because I think everybody should fly that long distance. It's strictly a test, just a test to see what the signal strength is of the quad. So for those who are like, well, why would you fly a quad that far anyhow? Or nobody flies their quad that far anyhow. It's a test. Keyword test. We're just testing signal strength. See how well it does compared to what they advertise is the whole reason a majority of us do these long range tests. So you're welcome. With that being said, thank you for watching. Enjoy the flight to come. And as always, thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I promise to try to bring you more, and hit that bell for future content notifications. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love.